So the last goddess that I want to talk about, or the last aspect of the Norse Triple Goddess of the uh, daughter, mother, and grandmother, is the grandmother goddess, and I can't pronounce her name, so I'm gonna spell it. I wrote it down. Fjorgyn. So I'm thinking it's Fjorn or Fjorgyn, maybe. There's not much known about her. I've tried to look her up online, pictures and whatnot of her, and I can only find pictures of her different aspects of different goddesses she's connected to, such as Scold and Hel. Um, she's the grandmother goddess. She is representative of the earth. She's supposed to be some really ancient goddess to the point where myths about her aren't even remembered by the time Snorri Sturluson, pronouncing it wrong again, always, I'm sorry, wrote about her. And he didn't write her down as a goddess, but she is the mother of Frigga, not just supposed to represent the goddess aspect. And they also think she might be the mother of Thor as well. So that's interesting. Um, one thing about her is that they think that her mate might have been same name except for there's a V at the very end. It's uh, the for Fjorgyn, and she's either a it's either her mate or her brother. So there's lots of similarities between Njord and Nerthus as well, which is interesting. So you might think of them as more of a better representation of the grandmother goddess and her mate. I'm just gonna keep calling her the grandmother goddess because her name is too hard to say. Um, some other names for the grandmother goddess, or some other human given names for her various attributes, are as follows: Jord, Erse, Gerd, all the giantesses, because they're all supposed to be representative of the earth, and she's an earth goddess. Hel, Hloiden, Hloydn, Ilm, Nana, Not, the goddess of night, Ran, Rind, Sif, Sigyn, Skadi, and the grandmother goddess is representative of the night, and also of um, can't even think of it. She also represents the Dizir, which are supposed to be uh, like females. Sometimes they're seen as like spirit guides in a way, or women who, those sometimes they'll say that they're past ancestor women that protect the family, or sometimes they're considered a special spirit that's connected to a certain family, and they watch over you and they help you. Um, and they basically work with you. It might be just your individual or your family. It depends on what you're reading about them. So, along with being the connected to the seer, she's also the goddess of winter, hence Skadi. And then her part of the day is dusk, whereas Freya is the morning dew when everything's fresh. Um, the midday sun and the most powerful time of the day is Frigg. I think I didn't mention that in my last video. And our Frigga. And towards the end of the day, when everything's coming to a close, is when the grandmother goddess takes over. When everything starts to die so that it can be renewed and reborn the next day. Um, the grandmother goddess, she sustains and nurtures the mother goddess. She helps her, and she also helps to keep the daughter goddess in line. Frey doesn't seem like she's ever put in her place, really, but the grandmother goddess is always there to make sure she's on the right path, I guess, right track. She's all representations that I've been talking about. You can think of them from the stereotypical daughter, mother, and grandmother thing, and they represent them perfectly. I mean, they have very human attributes, and they make mistakes and everything. And although some of the things they do might not be what normal daughter, mother, and grandmothers do, but you can still see the connection between all of them, which is awesome. So, um, the grandmother, as I said, the world tree represents Freya, and even though there's different worlds and different parts of the world tree that represent the different aspects of the Norse Triple Goddess, um, the void which the world tree grows out of, and where everything was born to begin with, is what the grandmother goddess represents. She's, I guess, the primordial goddess. She is the beginning of creation, she is the ancestor of all, so to speak. And she was there from the beginning before there was anything. That's what I'm really trying to say. So the grandmother goddess she is indestructible in a way. She is bigger than any of us could imagine. She represents everything outside of the world tree, everything that we don't know about. She's the void, sort of, in a sense. So if you wanted real deep knowledge, I think she is the one to go to. She is in this world, but she's everything. She represents all. And so she's also supposed to represent the earth as well, as I talked about. And also I want to explore why the goddess of winter. A lot of the times when winter comes, some of us be like, I live in San Diego, so it doesn't snow here or anything, and it doesn't really get cold. I mean, our winter, the coldest is probably for like the mid west is early fall, because my sister lives in Iowa and it's like -1 during the day, I think, right now, and it's like in the 70s here, and it's January, which is not really that common for here. Usually I think it's 60s or something. But she represents the night and its quiet solitude. She also represents winter because it's harsh. It can be overbearing. You get trapped inside where you have to, and there's things die. I mean, it seems some people don't like winter because you're stuck in. Nowadays, you're stuck inside. You have nothing to do. You sit on the computer or something like I'm doing, or then you're just stuck in your house with your family, which I like because then you can connect with your family and everything. But there's not much to go outside. There's things die in the winter, but you have to learn to love her for that because she is cleaning everything out so that it can be renewed in spring. She is destroying everything that symbolically, she's destroying everything that's holding us down, that's messing with us, that we need out of our lives so that we can be reborn, we can arise from the ashes, we can be refreshed and renewed. So the grandmother, this is why I like her too. She's this like cauldron of knowledge sort of thing, but she's also like this cleansing force when everything is going bad. You call your grandmother your mother. Mother is more nurturing. The grandmother is supposed to be. She's near death, supposedly. She's towards the end, and this goddess represents death in some aspects. Um, and she cleans it out for you. She makes everything new and fresh and whole again, so that later Freya can bring it all along, all the goodness and everything after winter. But then when spring comes, we tend to forget the grandmother and what she's done for us, and we never really gave her thanks. We're just happy that it's all over until next winter. Then we get all excited about putting up our Yule tree, and then once Yule's over, a lot of us will get depressed or something. Not me. I love the cold. And not never lived in snow. I've been to snow. Not like it so much, but I love rainy, cool weather. Which we don't get here in San Diego. I think that's why I crave it so much. But back to the grandmother goddess. Lastly, the things I want to talk about is that she represents the community, and a lot of the times the traditions were that you would name somebody after somebody that you respected in your community that had died, and she represents the tribe, the community, the clan, and here in America we don't have a sense of community really. I mean, some of us kind of have our families and everything, but there's no tribe really that I've seen. And sorry, my sister talks in her sleep, so I was making sure she wasn't awake. She was just sleep talking. To really get to know her, you have to acknowledge and accept every little thing all the different changes, the ends of things, and that's where she's peeking into your life. So a good way to connect with her is to create like an ancestor altar, because honoring your ancestors is honoring the grandmother goddess, and taking responsibility for your life too is a good way to connect with her and to clear things out on your own. And to get her help, you need to desire her help. You need to ask for it. She's watching over and she's waiting for you to ask her. So that concludes my little introduction on the grandmother goddess. I'm sure I'll explore her more in depth and share later. Thank you for watching.